Okay, so now we're going to move on to page 1 of the purchase agreement, and the one you want to select from Zip Forms is the California Residential Purchase Agreement and Joint Escrow Instructions. This can be used for a single-family residence and up to a 4-unit complex. And you want to make sure that you date it, because a contract is not a valid contract without a date, and it should be on every single page at the top of the contract. The first line is who is making this offer. If it's a single person, you would just put their name. If it's a husband and a wife and they both plan on being on the loan, then both their names should be here. If there was a party of 3 and they're all 3 on the loan, all 3 names would have to be on this line. You do not have to put it the way they're going to carry title. That can be determined later through escrow. The second line, the real property to be acquired, is described as, this is not talking about 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 3-car garage, as I have seen put on purchase contracts. No, it's talking about the actual address. So you're going to put the street number and the street name. And then here you're going to want to have a printout of the MLS so you can find the APN number and put it there. It's good to have a copy of the MLS because you'll need various information on there while you're writing up the offer. The city of the property and the county. The next paragraph is talking about what sales price you want to offer. In this case, it's $575, and when I'm typing this in Zip Forms, it will automatically type out this part, $575,000. When you're choosing a close of escrow date, make sure that you look at a calendar. You don't want to be picking a date that is a holiday or a Saturday or a Sunday. You want to be picking a business date so it can actually close on that date. The second paragraph is talking about agency. And so it acknowledges on paragraph A that the buyer has already received a disclosure regarding real estate agency relationships. A seller could indeed refuse to pay you if he did not have an agency with you and him. So also make sure as a buyer's agent that you are executing an agency disclosure with the seller as well. Paragraph B, potential competing buyers and sellers. You as an agent could actually be writing an offer on the same property with a couple different buyers. And in that case, you would have to execute CAR Form DA, disclosure and consent to represent more than one buyer or seller. Paragraph C is confirmation of which brokerage is representing both parties. So when it says listing agent, you're going to put the listing agent's brokerage. As you notice over here, it says print the firm name, not the agent name. And the same for the selling agent. You print the firm name, not the agent's name, and you check the appropriate box of who you are representing. Now going on to financing, the first thing is the deposit. How much deposit should I put? A lot of agents ask me this question. You know, legally, the seller with liquidated damages has a right to ask for 3% deposit. But you, representing the buyer, want to mitigate the buyer's risk of loss of that deposit. So you want to put the least amount of deposit as possible, but also considering that you want to make your offer a strong offer. So if you could put 3%, that would be great, but if you can get away with less, that's what you should do. And it also says how this deposit is going to be handled. If you handle it as an agent, you know you have to write it in your broker's trust log and take a copy of it and write it in his log. But a lot of agents are trying to avoid that these days. So in the contracts, it's defaulted the buyer shall deliver deposit directly to escrow. And that's exactly the way you want to leave it, by personal check. That way you do not have to trek into your broker's office and write it into the trust log. Never, never offer an increased deposit. Why risk any more of the deposit than you have to? Paragraph C is dealing with the loans. You really want to fill out this